Google tells people to eat rocks. But when asked, how many rocks should I eat per day? Instead of saying none, Google search responds with, you should eat 1 rock a day as it includes many minerals.
I don't want the summary. I'm like, can you give me like a website, maybe somebody who has a reputation for knowing something about the subject matter here? All they're doing is ruining search.
I feel like there's an opening for an open source search, but I have no idea how that would work. Google leaks privacy incidents.
I heard about this and some other stuff from Google.
Yeah.
Also leaked out with some information about their how they do search, which was another leak, essentially. This is a leak about leaks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really consider myself anti-Google in any way, but definitely if they're doing stupid stuff, we're going to call them out.
I'll never forgive them for getting rid of Google Plus.
Hello, how the tech are you? This is our weekly tech show on Echoplex Media. We talk about tech news and science news and whether other tech and science news we feel like talking about. I am historian Matt, and I've got, some stories today that are all basically Google bashing. It's Google bashing day. Just got a couple stories on Google. The first one, I guess we'll jump right in. I'm probably forgetting something, but I'll jump right in with Google tells people to eat rocks. If you haven't been paying attention to this, it's been big news recently, but basically Google added AI summaries to all of its searches. As Google searches are getting worse and worse, but that's beside the point. The AI summaries are fine most of the time, but draw traffic, of course, from legitimate websites if you're just reading the summary. But sometimes AI summaries fail in hilarious ways. For example, when asked, how many rocks should I eat per day? Instead of saying none, Google search responds with, you should eat 1 rock a day as it includes many minerals. And then, of course, when asked how to keep cheese from sliding off your pizza, Google search suggests using glue. The issue seems to be that AI cannot distinguish between real responses and sarcastic or otherwise humorous responses. So if you write a query just right, no legitimate source has a direct answer. So then Google uses non-legitimate sources, including hilarious or humorous responses, to come up with its response. What do you think, Dave?
This has been all over all the tech podcasts that I've been listening to.
Yeah.
Did you see that lady that I think she's with she's Business Insider? She made the glue pizza.
Oh, did she? I didn't see that one.
She said it did not taste very good, and that at least it said to use non-toxic glue.
Yeah, I did leave that out. Apparently it was like some joke on Reddit or something is where somebody tracked down the source, and it was a post on Reddit that said use glue to
thicken up your pizza sauce and make it stick to the crust or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think in the response, they actually say use non-toxic glue.
Well, good for them. Good for them.
So that was a good thing, at least.
This is just a case where they put something in, like I see it all the time when I search now, and it's like annoying, but I just skip it. I'm like, oh, I don't want the summary. I'm like, can you give me like a website, maybe somebody who has a reputation for knowing something about the subject matter here? I haven't seen any dumb responses, but I've seen stuff that's been wrong. I was looking up, I forget what I was looking up now. I was looking up a hotkey command for the browser because the browser got stuck in some mode that I wasn't sure how to undo because I accidentally did some hotkey and it gave me the wrong ones. And then the first result was the right thing. It was like, oh, did your browser do this? Here, I forget. It was like Control-Shift-B or something. But the first response was wrong. And I don't know why, it doesn't tell you this is, generated by our AI. This is still in its, experimental phase, please, check other sources for information on this and something. It doesn't say nothing like that.
Yeah. I've seen it several times doing Google searches. Before I just ignored it, but now, more recently, I've been reading it just to see how bad the response is, right? To see if they come up with any funny response. I don't know. I've definitely searched for stuff that had a definitive response, right? That could have been right or wrong, and I don't remember the AI result being useful at all, right? Right. It wasn't right or wrong. It just didn't give me the information I was looking for, even though I asked a pretty clear question.
The other thing they could do, and I think the smartest thing they could do is have a button at the top where, it says click here to get response from Google AI. Please note that this response is, you know, that this is an
Yeah.
experiment. Like don't show it to you, make you ask for it, like all kind of ways.
Yeah.
And then like have a button that says feedback there.
Yeah. Feedback would be nice at the very least. But of course, they want to shove that AI stuff in front of your face all the time because, you know, the Google, and they're supposed to sound super high tech and amazing and or something. I don't know. And they spend a lot of money on making the AI. They have to use it. I think that's a big part of it.
I mean, all they're doing is ruining search. Google search has been bad for a while, but this stuff, it's just getting worse. I don't understand, like, why. I don't know why they don't need to do this, right? Google search was so good for such a long time. And then they started doing this crap where they'll, you know, basically steal the text of an article and put it up there. That wasn't AI generated. They were just stealing the text from an article and putting it up there. And people, I don't think people want that, right? People want to link to the place with the information.
Yeah. I think for very specific searches, some people might want that so they can just get the information and move on. But it's taking, you know, clicks away from legitimate sources, right?
That end, it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't work most of the time, right?
Right.
Sometimes it gives you the answer you're looking for, and sometimes it's just not there. It's either, I mean, it usually wasn't incorrect, but it would either be not really in that, the response is not really in the section of text included, or there wasn't really enough because it's you need a longer response or something like that. I remember it not being particularly good at all.
No. And you should just be able to click a button that says summary, but you should have to actively click it.
Yeah.
Because I just, for a very long time, you would go to Google, you'd ask it something, and within the first 3 links would be like a legitimate source that had a good answer to your question. And that's, I don't understand. That was how they made all their money for a very long time. And like, that is, regardless of how the web changes and how other people are using more machine learning or generative AI tools, that service is still very valuable, and they're not doing that anymore.
Well, now it's like you do a search and then you have to scroll through like the first page of first. It's just like all their windows that they pop up of different ways they're trying to solve the search, whether it be like the AI, or they'll have like, if you ask a question, I'll have like a list of questions that are either like trying to be the question that you asked or some similar one, you know, that most of those aren't very useful. And then you have like a page of ads, right, that are not helpful, even though Google claims that, you know, having ads is actually helpful in search because it links people who are like trying to search for these things. I don't think that's very true. And then finally, like way down at the bottom, like you may get like one actual link to something, or you have to go to the next page, right?
Right. It's so crazy because before, the way, I mean, it was really easy. You'd get your top result would be an ad, like based on your, clearly be an ad. And then the rest of the page would be search results. And then on the right side, there'd be more ads. And that was fine. That was more than fine.
Yeah.
That was like the best search engine ever. And they're like, well, let's screw that up. Actually, let's, what is that? Cory Doctorow calls it the enshittification of things.
Yeah.
Let's enshittify this very simple to use, very effective tool that everyone uses as a verb that to synonymously mean search for something on the internet. Here, let's go monkey with that in such a way that it no longer does the thing that everybody remembers it doing.
Yep. And then on top of that, it's like, it's still their cash cow, right? Like they're messing with the thing that has made them billions of dollars.
Right. It would be so much easier to just have like remember, am I feeling lucky? It would give you what it thought the best result was.
Yeah. Is that even still there? I haven't used it in forever.
Man, am I feeling lucky? It just takes you to a page that says no. And then gives you some AI generated crap about like whether or not you should feel lucky today. Yeah, I can't believe that I don't think it's like the search engineers or maybe even the product people doing this, right? This is the revenue side getting in probably and messing with everything. So I don't know how you get more revenue out of summarizing something, because the other thing they're doing is AdSense, right? So if you visit that other page, Google's the one serving the ads and they get a cut of the ad. Now they're not, you're not clicking on the ad. You're not clicking on anything. You're getting probably the wrong answer or a useless answer from the summary.
Yeah.
Now nobody's making any money.
Yeah.
I don't know. They make any money on that summary? They probably lose a bunch of money on that summary, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, they whatever. It used to be that I thought no new player could come in and search, but it seems like Bing is all screwed up like this too. Yeah, I think a regular search engine could show up and people would start using it.
Yeah. I feel like there's an opening for an open source search, but I have no idea how that would work.
Right. Or I wonder are there browser plugins that get rid of all that crap from your Google search? Probably not for Chrome, right?
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Maybe for Firefox. There's probably a Firefox extension that like de-and-shitifies Google.
That's right.
Anyway, what's your next story about Google?
Okay, I got another one about Google. Let me bring it up. But basically, Google leaks privacy incidents. Another huge, bad story for Google recently is basically Google leaks a huge list of privacy incidents that happened for the past several years. I didn't quite get how many years. I'm sure it's somewhere probably in the article that I linked to. But so privacy incidents are basically these incidents, since I worked at Google, I know it's like something happened where they went against their own privacy policy or something that could basically look bad to Google in terms of privacy. It's usually something that Google did not intend to do for one reason or another. Apparently, so even though this huge list of privacy incidents was leaked, all the incidents have since been resolved. Actually, most of these incidents, they were resolved before, and so it's not really like they're saying, "Oh, these leaks are ongoing." The problem is we have all these privacy incidents, and they keep coming up, and Google keeps happening. So there seems to be something a little more fundamentally wrong with Google. And these large number of incidents are very concerning. But of course, to list out what some of these incidents were, these incidents include, but are not limited to, recording children's voices when not allowed. Apparently, there's some cases where it was just like on the Android phone would record children's voices unintentionally, and it was actually saved somewhere, which is a big no-no. And also Waze's carpool feature was leaking trips and home addresses of its users. Separately, a Google employee leaked info from Nintendo's YouTube private videos, which apparently spoiled some announcement that Nintendo intended to do later on. And YouTube's blurring feature was exposing uncensored version of pictures. So what do you think, Dave? Have you heard about this?
I heard about this and some other stuff from Google.
Yeah.
Also leaked out with some information about their how they do search, which was interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I missed that one as well.
So this, the leaking Nintendo's private YouTube videos, I don't know how what? Like, do you know how that happened? Was it just that they're did an individual do it, or did the computer system screw up in some way?
Okay, so the article is not super clear on what happened. I didn't look it up later, but I'm sure it's somewhere in the incident report. But from what I can tell, so Nintendo posted some videos that they had marked private, and I assume what that meant was they marked it private, and they're intending to release it later when they do this announcement. That's part of this announcement. Now they said an actual Google employee somehow got into those videos. It didn't say they made them public, but somehow ended up getting those videos released publicly somehow. When you read it, it sounds like the Google employee was malicious and did this intentionally for some reason. But later in that same, the article, later on that same incident, they said that the employee did it unintentionally. Don't know how that happened. So again, it's not super clear what happened there. But supposedly it was just a regular privacy incident and wasn't anything malicious going on.
Well, this is interesting too, because the fact that this stuff leaked out is another leak. Essentially, this is a leak about leaks.
Yeah, exactly.
The interesting stuff that I heard was that some of the other leaks were demonstrating that they had been lying to everybody about SEO, about how the
search one they found to be lying about. They were saying that search worked one way, right, and it really was working a different way that people had suspected but didn't have any proof of. But apparently, yeah.
These companies are all screwed up. This is I don't know. We should just like liquidate the ball and make everybody start over.
I would have to point out, like, particularly on the search thing, Google has been known for lying about such things for a while, right? I think there have been some other leaks that have said similar thing, not quite at the same level, and not specifically about search, but definitely like Google was saying one thing and we later find out from a leak that something else was going on. That's happened a lot.
Yeah, it would just be better for them to not pretend to be giving information, to be like, actually, the way the search works is proprietary. If you have the best website, we believe that you will rank high in Google search. So make good content, which is sort of what they were saying for a while, but that's what they were saying publicly. Like a lot of people who like paid essentially to have like Google, like, I don't know, some Google SEO account were given like more specific information that turned out to be incorrect. And that sucks.
Yeah. That's not appropriate.
No, because
in fact, that might be fraud and they might, open themselves up to lawsuits.
Yeah, I pity the fool that tries to sue Google, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
That's another problem, right? If like Google defrauds you and makes it so that that you look like a dumbass to your customers because what you're saying was going to work didn't work. Well, I mean, some of it's your fault, I guess, for believing what the tech company told you, but some of it's Google's fault for giving you false information about their product. But like how somebody with 30 or 40 clients or whatever and a couple employees going to sue, like even have the wherewithal to deal with, 6 months of the lawsuit process versus Google. They're not going to.
Yeah, it's called a class action lawsuit.
Oh, maybe that would work. That would work. Maybe maybe the guy who took down InfoWars, Mark Bankston, can do it.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, it's also possible it comes up with like the FTC or something like that. So
right. But then they get fined and they get fined by the FTC, but most of their customers probably have no way to get made whole without then tailing it with a lawsuit, which is costly and risky essentially.
Yep.
Not great. Usually we don't really crap on Google too much around here, but they're the stuff that leaked out is kind of bad, and like we were saying earlier, what they've done to search is horrible. So maybe we'll be spending more time crapping on Google.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't really consider myself anti-Google in any way, but definitely if they're doing stupid stuff, we're gonna call them out.
I'll never forgive them for getting rid of Google Plus.
I've long since forgiven them for that.
I used it just as a news reader, like for like mainstream news sources, because it looked great on my phone. But do you think I tried to talk to anybody on there? Hell no.
No. Why? You'd only be talking to Google employees.
Right. I'd be talking to like the 9 Google employees who were still using it at the end because they'd get fired if they stopped using it.
Pretty much. I won't forgive them for, hiring me onto this project for almost 8 years and then killing the project without releasing it, really.
Thanks for checking out How the Tech Are You? This is a mostly weekly YouTube show that also gets released as a podcast eventually. You can find out more about us at echoplexmedia.com, and there should be videos here. Have a great tech and week.